Welcome back, Deadites and Ghost Beaters, and if you're new to the channel, I'm Oldhead Gaming, and on Thursday, all the news really broke out on what's coming on with both the Game of the Year edition, as well as the Who's Your Daddy update coming on April 26th, so about 3 weeks from now. And one of the things I keep seeing in all the comments and all the videos is the Game of the Year edition a sign of a big problem? And I want to go break that down because that is one of the things I keep answering. It's just getting to the point now where it's maybe easier just to talk about it all at once instead of just keep answering each individual comment. So let's talk about Game of the Year editions. Game of the Year editions typically signify the end of a life cycle. So I understand why everyone is kind of like getting bent out of shape. Is this the end of all the content we're going to see in Evil Dead the game? And I don't think that's the case because there is a big anomaly here that isn't usually the circumstances in other Game of the Year editions. And you have to look at it, what it usually means is A Game of the Year edition is either to catch up or B, conclude a game. And I think we're seeing the former rather than the latter. And the reason is Steam is now in play. Let's take a look here now together. When we go to the Steam store and we type in Evil Dead the game, bring it up. Of course, here it is. We can add it to our wish list. I see the announcements of the Game of the Year edition. And that's about it. Like, I don't see like a chance to pre-order. I don't see it available yet to purchase. You can add it to your wish list, and that's about all you can do. So I assume that based on the fact that the announcements here are just for the Game of the Year edition, it's probably just the case. And it makes a lot of sense that the game is finally coming on April 26th. Now, the release date's still listed as coming soon. It'll probably change over the next day or two and probably be available for pre-order as well. And this is why I think it's not a problem. We saw in certain articles, especially like the Bloody Disgusting article, where they conceded that all the DLC, basically all 6 is what they said, which would have been the 4 from Season 1 and the 2 that are currently in, I guess, Season 2, are included in the Game of the Year edition. So basically, as a Steam player, you can buy 1 copy of the game and just be caught up on all the content. And it's a really good jumping on point for all the Steam players. So I do not think it's a sign that the game is going bad. It's a sign that the game is coming to a brand new platform and it's available to purchase, and it makes complete sense to just put this out. If Switch ever happens, which I still don't think it's going to, I'm assuming they'll probably just get the Game of the Year edition as well because they're so far behind. If they ever get that out, there's no reason to put anything else. And if they put it at a pretty feasible price, it makes a lot of sense for you just to buy the Game of the Year edition because you're going to want the extra characters later anyway. So, yes, I think it's a sign of good things, not bad things. Another thing that makes me have hope is Saber has this tendency to be really clunky in year 1. I didn't actually think that World War Z would even get out of year 1, and let alone find its stride in year 2, and really start to really move into a much, much better product in year 3. And so the game has kind of gotten stronger as it's gone along, which has made it a better overall experience to play. I actually enjoy World War Z quite a bit, and I think the fact that they got Horde mode, maybe it's something that will be on the mind of the developers here for Saber for Evil Dead the game. And let's be honest, I think Steam now should do 2 things to help the game, not hurt it. 1, it's the much more preferred system for PC players. Let's be honest, if you ever ask a PC player who they want to play on, do they want to play on Steam or they want to play on Epic? I think 99 to 1, there's going to be that one dude that's like, Epic's the shit! I only play on Epic! But 99% are probably going to say I would rather play on Steam. And the only thing they haven't asked about this is if there's cross progression, which I guess it really doesn't matter character-wise, but it would matter account-wise between Steam and Epic. I hope for the Steam people it is if they want to rebuy the game and play on the preferred format, but we haven't gotten word on that yet. I'll try to get to the bottom of this. I'll pin a comment at the bottom and see if I can get a definitive answer one way or another, whether there is cross-progression between Epic and Steam. But regardless, Steam is the preferred method for a lot of people, and I said in my video about Steam when I was dropping that, I thought it was going to come on Steam within the year marker, which it did. It's going to be a little bit ahead of the year, a couple of weeks. And I also said this when I was talking about the Game of the Year edition itself, is that with the fact that it's coming on Steam, a lot of people who have actually just avoided playing the game entirely because they're PC gamers and they only play on Steam should get a chance to take a look at the game itself. I know I had a couple people who have commented that, like, if the game were on Steam recently, they would have bought it already. So I think we're probably going to see a nice influx of both income into the game, which is always important, as well as the fact I think we're going to get a huge boost to the player base, which is also important. And these are things that Evil Dead needs to go into year 2 with, is an increase of money coming in as well as an increase of players. And you kind of get that as a double fold, not a negative with the Game of the Year edition, because it's directly going to boost the PC community. Hell, it will probably get some people who decided they didn't want to get the game, and if they see it's doing well on their preferred console even, they can just go straight to the Game of the Year edition and get everything for one fell swoop. Personally, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a sign that the game is dead. I don't think it's a sign that's the end of the content we're going to be receiving. I think this is Saber's attempt to make it as possible and strong going into year 2 as they can. They have fumbled the bag quite a bit in year 1, and this is a really good move to conclude year 1 and get it on the map for year 2. Now, tell me what you think in the comments below. Do you think this is, like I do, a good sign, not a problem? Or do you think that this is the end of the line, my Valentine, and we're not going to hear anything more from Saber for a while until they say, you know what, we're just not doing anything more? I don't think that's the case. As always, thanks for watching, and later, mates.